Christ. Amen. We come today to our reading, Acts 22 through 29. And Paul has just come to the end of his sermon. Now, he would have kept on preaching, I am certain, but it now comes to an end. And now we come to the next steps of what takes place as Paul is arrested. Noticing that throughout this whole series, Paul's using whatever is there in order to proclaim Jesus Christ, whether it's a citizenship, whether it's being arrested, whether it's with the crowds, with the Gentiles, whatever. He's always looking forward. What is the next step that needs to be done to share the faith? And willing to give up some of his own rights at times. Did he need to go to the temple for this purification? No. He did it for the people, the Jewish people's sake, so that they might hear the gospel. Constantly. That's the next thing, to share the faith, whatever the Lord has blessed with me in my life. As we come to verse 22, Paul has just said, go. The Lord said to Paul, go, for I will send you far away to the Gentiles. And it's the moment when that comes forward, the moment when to the Gentiles come forward, that then the spark reignites once again. So to the Gentiles, then to their mind again, remembering their accusations against Paul about Paul going out and Paul bringing Gentiles in to the temple where they should not have been, which he did not do, by the way. So we come to 22. Having said this, up to this word, they listened to him. Now you notice it was not when they went forward and said, when Paul said, and Jesus of Nazareth. It was now the Gentiles. That's what causes everything else to happen and take place. So they hear those words. Then they raised up their voices and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for he should not be allowed to live. So let us kill him. Very much you can think years earlier, crucify him, crucify him. Here to Paul, kill him off of the earth, eliminate him. The crowd calling for blood. Verse 23. And as they were shouting and throwing off their clothes and flinging dust into the air, almost a weird image, remembering that it was Paul holding people's cloaks while Stephen was stoned. Now, coming here, they're throwing off their cloaks and they're flinging the dust into the air. The tribune, seeing all of this, ordered him to be brought back into the barracks, saying that he should be examined by flogging to find out why they were shouting at him like this, which for foreigners and non-citizens was a normal way of procedure. We will use flogging, and once he has enough pain, then he will answer us. And so it's very much torture was thought of as the way to get the true answers out of people. But when they had stretched him out for the whips, similar to Jesus flogging on that Good Friday, Paul said to the centurion, until that point, who was standing by, is it lawful for you to flog a man who's a Roman citizen and uncondemned? The obvious answer is no. Whole different category of law for a Roman citizen with rights, privileges, protections under the law that nobody else had. And Paul's saying, I've got this. And you notice, and as it goes forward in the next several chapters, he's going to continue to use his citizenship as a way to share the gospel message. It is another tool for proclamation. Now, when the centurion heard this, he went to the tribune and said to him, what are you about to do? For this man is a Roman citizen. And doing this to a Roman citizen, that was bad. You are going to be in serious trouble doing this knowingly to a Roman citizen. So the tribune came up to him and said, tell me, are you a Roman citizen? And Paul said, yes. The tribune answered, I bought this citizenship for a large sum. He's kind of bringing forward, well, Paul, you don't have the money to buy it like I did. Paul said, but I am a citizen by birth So no, he didn't have the money to buy citizenship, which is one of the ways. Military service was another, in order to earn citizenship. And then it went through your family. It was not just handed out. There was a massive cost to gain this citizenship. It was worth a lot. Paul says, no, I don't have the money for it, but I had this when I was born. So those who were about to examine him withdrew from him immediately. We're not going down this road. What we do to him is going to be done to us. No. And the tribune also was afraid, for he realized that Paul was a Roman citizen and that he had bound him. And even that portion of binding him like this was against the Roman law. And we'll find out later on that he then lies as well, try to cover his own tracks. So we can also then ask the question throughout, what blessings and gifts has God given to us individually, corporately as a church, in order to share the grace of Jesus Christ for all people? In that name,